everyone, this is my latest Vlog Stars entry from Mr and Mrs T+3 and You Baby Me Mummy, and it's all about my top 5 highs and lows of parenting. I hope you can relate. I like to think I've taken a comical slant on it, but it's all true, and some of it can be really tough, but some of it can be absolutely amazing, as you know. So I'd love to see your comments below, and give it the thumbs up if you like what I have to say and you giggle at least once. So here goes. I'm going to start with lows, which I kind of feel bad saying in front of this little one, but we'll do that and then work our way up and crescendo with the highs because they're so much better. Number 1 of my top 5 lows of parenting is the constants of not very nice things. So constantly having a lack of sleep, that's got to be on everybody's low list. Constantly worrying. I worry not only what he's got up to, what he might be getting up to, and he's only 2 years old. I don't think that worry is ever going to stop now I'm a mum, so that's not great. And then constantly tidying up. Oh, they're tidying up, picking up things after this little one, constantly. If I didn't do that, then the house would be, well, a pigsty I was going to say, but actually that would be a luxury in comparison to what I'd be left with at the end of the day if I didn't do that constant tidying. But it is a bit backbreaking at times, and yeah, not fun. Number 2 is no more spontaneity. Boo! Now this is a big thing, perhaps the biggest thing that I knew I would experience before I even thought of being a parent. So unless it's planned, which kind of defeats the object, spontaneity doesn't exist anymore. So you can't just say, you know what, I feel like going to the cinema, or let's go somewhere random and have a drink. Do you fancy meeting up after work? There's none of that. No, there's none of that. It's the Mr. Man. You have to plan things, you have to coordinate schedules, you have to make sure there's childcare. Sometimes just having a business meeting for me is like a military operation. It's amazing how many people and how much time and effort goes into looking after one little character, so I can't imagine what it's going to be like if we have any more children. So that is a real big low for me. Do miss that, but I knew it was coming, and the highs which are coming up definitely outweigh that, I promise. Number 3, big pants. Big pants are now a way of life. I remember the days when I wore gorgeous, almost nothing there thongs, and I was worried about my body at that age. If you're a whole lot younger than me and you're watching this, you look amazing. Take it from me. You look amazing. Please don't have body hang-ups. I don't really have them now. I'm quite contented in the fact that I have a mummy tummy. That ain't going anywhere, but you know what? In the meantime, I'll wear these. Number 4 is lack of time to yourself, with your partner, just you and your partner, and overall. It's sometimes, you know, especially after a hard day at work or when you're extra tired, I would long to just take my time, read a book, listen to some music, and even finish a hot drink from start to finish without interruptions. Wouldn't that be great? Number 5 is privacy. I cannot remember the last time I had a poo in peace. Maybe that's a bit too much information, but I'm sure if you're honest you'll all relate. Yeah, you don't get much privacy at all. It's also nice though in a way that you learn to be open and you learn to share, not in your toilet experiences, but in so many other things in life. Now on to the highs. Number 1 high of parenting is belly laughs make a return. I've not laughed as hard as I can sometimes when I'm laughing with my son. Probably since I was a kid, it's a brilliant feeling when you get that uncontrollable amount of giggles that kind of takes over you. And we've already created so many memories, and just some of the looks and the things that he does and the things that he says are hilarious, and I really enjoy that. I love laughing that way with him, and as a family, so that is definitely a high. Loads and loads of fun. Number 2, I'm sure it's the most popular on everybody's list of highs for parenting, and it's that unconditional love. I've never loved and been loved in return this unconditionally, this openly, and this wholeheartedly. You really would do anything for your children, and that's amazing. It's incredible. It's fulfilling. It gives you so much purpose and it makes you feel whole. Number 3 is clarity. Suddenly, as a parent, everything makes sense. Priorities are in check, they're straight, they're clear. You know what you need to do. You know what life is about. You have more of a purpose. And you don't just do things for you anymore or your partner, it's for your child. And that just gives everything immense purpose and focus. And that is pretty fantastic. Number 4 is your inner child is revived. Being a parent and being with kids turns you into a big kid. You start saying and doing and enjoying things you perhaps wouldn't have done, or definitely wouldn't have done in fact, if you weren't a parent. And it just, so many memories come back and return to you as a child. Whether it's going somewhere together, watching a silly cartoon, or just not caring, it's these things that make you feel fearless and frivolous and carefree, and I'm certain those kinds of feelings wouldn't have returned if I hadn't become a mum. Number 5 is determination and drive in triple doses. I've always been a very determined, driven and ambitious individual, but since becoming a mum that has just like increased tenfold, and my focus and efficiency and determination is just really out there. And I think it's like I said earlier, you're not doing it just for you anymore, you're doing it for your child. And you know what, that kind of philosophy actually made me feel ready for having children. I'll tell you a short story. I was never maternal, and I was never like, oh, I want children, oh yes, I want loads of them, and you know, I kind of envied women that did and were like that, but I never got that feeling. I knew I wanted children one day, but I never knew when, and I never actually felt ready. In my opinion, you will never feel ready, and I was having probably my 5th cocktail at a bit of a soiree, and I was speaking to a fellow writer, and she was pregnant with a 2nd child at the time. She wasn't having cocktails, I was doing all of that for her. And I said, but, you know, how did you know you wanted them? How did you know it would be the right thing? What about your career? Don't you worry that you'll have to put all that on hold and kind of start over if you dip out and take time with your children? That was a big worry for me back then. And she said to me, and this really did change things for me, and I hope for you too, she said, well, actually, I love the fact that my children are going to see how hard I work and how hard their dad works, and be an inspiration to them. I want them to perhaps see a struggle from time to time. I want them to see what hard work means, and I want them to grow from that. And that really was a turning point for me. And that is what I practice. And you know, if you watch my channel and you read my blog, that Frankie, my son, is heavily involved in what I do. I don't think he'd have it any other way, actually. But I love involving him, and he is not only my purpose and my focus and the reason for my drive and for being so determined and wanting to succeed, but it's my inspiration and my muse. He is. And I wouldn't have had that precision and that angle and that personal tone of voice that I love to express on my vlogs and in my blogs if it wasn't for him. So thanks, Frankie. You can watch me poo all you like.